Alright, in this video we are going to talk about the pick tool. It's over here in the left hand side toolbox. It's the very top tool. You can also use the keyboard at Alt Space to get to it. Primarily it's used for selecting. If I click on the die here and fill red, you'll see the die is now filled with red granite. It did not fill everything else because I only had one object selected. If I want to select more than one, I hold down Shift and then I can fill my margin with the same red granite. You can do that with as many objects as you need to. I can click all three here holding Shift and then it would do the die and the entire base. But again, I'm not filling everything in the middle. To get everything, I can marquee select or drag a box around everything here, and then when I click on my granite fill, you'll see that it fills everything here on the die. Okay, when marquee selecting, it's really important that you get around the whole object that you want selected or objects. You can see if I drag around the top half, but my line is touching the leaves around the roses, but because it's not entirely selecting it, when I fill this with gray, it only fills the top items. If I drag another box and I barely clip the wing of this dove, you'll see that when I finish my selection here, I did not select the dove because I just barely missed it. So you have to make sure that bounding box goes all the way around your objects that you want to select. Now another trick to selecting is using the Alt key. If you hold down the Alt, anything the box touches will be selected. So I just barely touched the die and now I can fill the die gray. If I come down further, it touched the panel and the text and the die, so I can fill all four of those items at once. If I come from the top here and go around, you'll see that the dove and the caduceus are also selected because my bounding box touched those. This is particularly useful when you're working in wireframe view, because in wireframe nothing has a fill. So I can't just click to fill. I'd have to click right on the outside line or of the panel, the same thing. So if I use my Alt key and click and drag, then I can select the entire panel plus the text all at the same time because my bounding box touched all of those objects. To select everything that's here on your desktop, you can just double click on the pick tool. Then I can change everything all at once. To deselect everything, you can press Escape on the keyboard or just click off somewhere in the white area. Now one caveat to selecting is when you're working with bitmaps. These flowers are a bitmap and you can see there's a square frame around them in the wireframe view. That means it's a bitmap. If I try to drag this or select it, you see I drag it instead of selecting it. So in order to select it, I have to drag a box entirely around the picture frame or the bitmap frame, which you can see in the wireframe but not in the regular view. So be careful when you're working with bitmaps. If I wanted to select the bottom half of this die, I would drag from the bottom and come up to select my books and the porcelain, because if I tried to drag from the top, I would accidentally select the bitmap and actually move it, which is not something I want to do. Now again, the reason things move in the regular view is because they have a fill. In the wireframe view, they do not have a fill. So I could just click and drag and select this. Now there's an option to change that and treat everything as filled, but we don't recommend that, because if I were to try to select this heart in the regular view and try to drag a box around it, you're going to see I'm actually going to select the die behind it instead and move that, which is not what I want to do. So we do not recommend that you enable the option to treat everything as a filled object for that reason. Alright, one more trick with the Alt key. I can start selecting or dragging on something that's filled if I hold down the Alt key first. And as I start to drag, if I let go of the Alt key first, I can select just that piece. And again, I can do that because I was holding down the Alt key first. If I do that again, but I keep the Alt key held down, it's going to select not just what I had my box around, but anything it was touching, which in this case was the die. So in this case, all of that turns gray. Okay, the pick tool is also used to move objects. You just simply select it, and then you can click and drag anywhere on the object itself. There's also, if you zoom in here, there's a center little X there in the middle of any object. You can use that to move as well. That's particularly useful in the wireframe view because since there are no fills, I can't just click and drag the dove from here. I would have to click on one of the lines or the nodes, or I can use this little center mark and I could just move with that. Now when you have an object selected, you will see these 8 bounding boxes around them, these black squares. If I click and grab on one of these in the corner, I can resize things and it goes proportionally. So we have to be careful because it increases the thickness of the lines, but you can go up or down. You can see up here it keeps track of the scale factor, so if I wanted to go back to the original, I could just type back in 100% and I could get back to my original size. If you grab one of the middle boxes, either on the top or left or right, and click and drag, that's not going to size it proportionally, it's just going to stretch it. And in most cases, we do not want to stretch anything, especially if it has any kind of hard line. So let me just undo that. The only time we would use these typically is to do a mirror. So you can see if I drag across itself, I can create a mirrored version of it. If I hold down Control on the keyboard, it will snap to the exact size that it was on the left-hand side. Now you can also hold down Shift and then it will mirror off the center instead of off the right side. So if I hold down Control and Shift, it'll snap to itself. I can get the exact same size mirrored right in the same place. So it's just a shortcut from this mirror button that's up here at the top. If I click a second time on the object, I get different bounding boxes. So I get rotation handles here in the corner, so I can click on those and rotate. Any of the 4 rotation handles work. If I click on the middle or the sides, those are called skews, and I will skew the artwork. So in general, I would not skew artwork, but perhaps some text. If I look down here in this ribbon, I have some Vermarco lettering down here. It does not have an italic version. So if I click on this a second time, I can use the skew button to skew the text. Now again, if I hold down Control, it's only going to go 15 degrees. And I would recommend that because there's no setting that tells me how far I went. So if I were to come back, I could just come back one click, holding down Control, and it'd get me back to the original text that I had before. You may have seen in some other videos a duplicate trick with the pick tool. As you select an object and drag it to move it, if you right click just one time while still holding down the left mouse button, you'll see the cursor has a little plus, and that will create a copy of the original one. So now I have a pair of doves here. Let me undo that. That can also work with the rotation handle. So if I again click twice on this and rotate and right click once, now I have a rotated version of the original dove just by using that right mouse click. It also works on mirroring, so let me undo this. If I come and drag across itself, holding down Control and right click once before I let go, it will create a perfectly sized mirrored copy of that same object. When it comes to working with grouped objects, let me select this panel so you can see I've got a group of 3 objects here, and I can't just select the text by itself if I wanted to unless I use the text tool. Whatever I click, it's all going to come together because it's grouped. But I can use the Control key to select what's called child objects. So if I hold down Control and click, now I can select just the text, and you'll notice my bounding boxes are round now. And down on the bottom it will say child and then whatever the object's name is. So that tells you are working inside of a group. So I can change the font from here. And if I deselect and come back, you'll notice this is all still a group of 3 objects. I did not have to ungroup and regroup. So again, that's Control and then click, and then you can select a child object within a group. Now there's a second use to using the Alt key as selecting objects. We talked about holding down Alt and then dragging, but if you hold down Alt and click, it's going to dig. If I do a regular click, you'll see I'll select the panel. If I hold down Alt and click, it will select what's behind it. So in this case, the die. That's why I've got it now selected. And that can work with different layers and also in groups if you use Control and Alt together. If I select this just regularly, it's going to select my group of 3 objects, you can see. If I hold down Control, I'll select my child object there. If I hold down Control and Alt, I'm going to select what's behind my text, which is the frosted part of the panel. If I click again, it's going to give me the black part. If I do one more time, it's going to give me the die because it's digging or going back in layers behind the object that you had selected previously. When it comes to double clicking, that can work different ways depending on what you're clicking on. If I double click a group, it's just going to give me my rotation handles. If I double click on something that's not grouped, it's going to switch me automatically over to the shape tool. It's a little shortcut there. If I double click text, it will change automatically to the text tool. So depending on what you're selecting, it can save you some time to switch tools automatically by double clicking. Also, the space bar is a toggle between the last tool you used and the pick tool. So if I'm here on the shape tool and I hit my space bar, it automatically takes me back to the pick tool. If I'm using the text tool and I click on or I hit space, you'll notice it actually adds spaces, so that doesn't work. But if I use, say, a drawing tool, I can draw something, and then by hitting space bar I can immediately jump back to my pick tool without having to go up and grab it. So you can use that spacebar to toggle back and forth between your last used tool and the pick tool. On a power clip, which we have right here, if you hold down Control and click, it will take you to the power clip edit menu where I can kind of crop or adjust the photo. If I hit Control and click, it'll take me back to the original view. Now there is one more tool called the freehand pick tool. And this one acts kind of like a lasso where you can just freehand select. So if I start down here and drag, and I just want to get the bottom panels but not the top artwork, I can freehand kind of get around the last name panel up here. And then I can select all those items without selecting the dove and the caduceus. So it is an option for you to use that. Otherwise you can just marquee select with a box with the regular pick tool. There's one more called the free transform, which allows you to size and skew at the same time, but since we rarely skew, we're probably not going to use that very much. But there's our pick tool.